So look at Proverbs 11 and 13. Proverbs 11 and 13. Proverbs 11 and 13. And we're dealing with how to be friends, how to be a truth brother. And it says in Proverbs 11, 13, a talebearer revealeth secrets. See? So you wonder sometime how you know about what somebody said about you, because it said a talebearer revealeth secrets. Somebody running their mouth. But he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. If you have a faithful spirit, you consider the matter. I mean, you don't have to say everything that you hear. Go into the Apocrypha, go to Ecclesiasticus, the 19th chapter. Ecclesiasticus, the 19th chapter. And we're going to start at the 6th verse. Ecclesiasticus, the 19th chapter, and the 6th verse. And it reads, he that can rule his tongue shall live without strife. See? You got to know how to rule your words, your speech. And he that hateth babbling shall have less evil. You know, somebody babbling about this and that, especially a talebearer. It's on page 81 if you have the Red Apocrypha, the Cambridge University Press. Rehearse not unto another that which is told unto thee, and thou shalt fare never the worse. So he says, some things, you know, is private. So it says you ain't supposed to be telling people everything that somebody done told you. So I say, rehearse not unto another that which is told unto thee, and thou shalt fare never the worse, whether it be a friend or a foe. He's saying whether it be a friend or enemy. Talk not of other men's lives, and if thou canst without offense, reveal them not. So say, don't talk about other men's lives. If you can without offending, reveal another man's life. Don't reveal another man's life. You got to deal with the truth. Straight up. It says, for he heard and observed thee. He heard you was talking about him, and he heard and he observed thee. And when time cometh, he will hate thee. See? When the time comes, he's going to hate you. If thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee. If thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee. And be bold. It will not bust you. You ain't going to bust behind what it is that you were told or what you need to know. Thinking somebody else need to know what it is somebody told you. So you heard a word, let it die with you. Some things you got to die with. Because it's nobody's business. It's just something that somebody have confided in you. Like a lot of things that I could never tell nobody about other people. You know what I mean? Certain things. It's private. In other words, it says, a fool travaileth with the word as a woman in labor of a child. He can't help it. You know, having contractions, they can't wait to just tell somebody. That's a fool. They hear something and they can't wait to tell somebody something. So it's like the contractions, they far apart. You know, when they first hear it, if you far apart and it gets closer and closer, they say, I just got to tell somebody. I got to reveal it to somebody. That's a fool. You know, it says a fool developed with a word as a woman in labor of a child, as an arrow that sticketh in a man's thigh. You shoot an arrow and stick it in a man's thigh. So is a word within a fool's belly. Man, I know that hurts. You get stabbed in the thigh, that hurts. Says, so is a word in a fool's belly. Admonish a friend, it may be he have not done it. See? And if he have done it, that he do it no more. So you tell your friend, you know, hey, you did this wrong. So it could be that he didn't even do it, it's saying. And if he did do it, that he don't do it no more. Admonish thy friend. It may be he have not said it. You hearing what somebody said? By the time I'm speaking now, by the time it get back to me, and it went around this person, that person, they tell it, by the time it get back to me what was said, it's all the way twisted. You know what I mean? Because everybody got their own version of what's being said. It says, admonish thy friend, it may be he have not said it. And if he have, that he speak it not again, that he don't say it again. Admonish a friend, for many times it is a slander, and believe not every tale. So don't believe everything that somebody say about someone. See, there is one that slippeth in his speech. There's some, you might slip in whatever you say, but not from his heart, not from his mind. You might say something, but it wasn't really what he wanted to say. So you got to give him opportunity to correct it. Say, there is one that slippeth in his speech, but not from his heart. And who is he that has not offended with his tongue? And who is that? Who are you out there that have not offended by something that you have said to somebody else? Or said something that offends someone, And sometimes you don't even know. Especially reading this Bible. The Bible cuts, then y'all look at you. Now I'm talking to you. But I'm reading it. First it comes to myself. I'm talking to you or whoever listening. If I teach, I look at everyone. Now you offended. What kind of mindset is that? I mean, this is what happens. I would say, who have not offended with his tongue? Admonish thy neighbor before thou threaten him. Talk to him. Try and work it out before you threaten him. And not being angry, give place to the law of the Most High. See? We ain't supposed to be angry. Say, give place to the law of the Most High. And we said, love thy neighbor. That's why I'm going to this concerning how we should be as brothers, enrolling together in the spirit, and sisters. You take heed too. It says, but you got to give place to the law of the Most High. He said, love thy neighbor as thyself. How can you love the Most High whom you have not seen and hate your brother who you have seen? And the Most High said, Jacob have I loved. So who are you to not love who the Most High loves? But many men are rolling as such. It says, the fear of the Most High is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love. The knowledge of the commandments of the Most High is the doctrine of life. See, the knowledge of the commandments, that's the laws of the Most High, is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. You do things that please the Most High. How you going to please the Most High without following his laws, statutes, commandments, his rules and regulations? You're going to do whatever you want to do in wickedness and you say you're going to please him. I don't think so. You think you're going to go to the kingdom and you're going to do whatever you want to do. Sin, break the Most High's laws, and here you are thinking that you're in line to go to the kingdom. I mean, go out there and break Esau's laws, see what he do. See if he just say, it's okay, I'm just going to pat you on the hand, and don't do it no more. I don't think so. Shoot. Better recognize, if you don't, he will make you recognize. He'll make you recognize. Verse 19. No, verse 18. The fear of the Most High is the first step to be accepted of him. And wisdom obtaineth his love. The proper application of knowledge, you will obtain his love. The knowledge of the commandments of the Most High is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. That's by following his commandments. You have opportunity to receive the tree of immortality, living forever and ever and ever. when the Mashiach come back and set up a righteous kingdom on this earth. It says, the fear of the Most High is all wisdom. And in all wisdom is the performance of the law. I mean, I don't know how people can look at this any other way besides what it says. It says what it says. You can't get by it. You can't get around it. It is what it is. Now, verse 20 says again, the fear of the Most High is all wisdom. And in all wisdom is the performance of the law. So you have wisdom, but you're sinning against the Most High's rules and regulations. And you think you have wisdom? You don't have no wisdom. Because the wisdom, to have the wisdom of the Most High, is the performance of the law. You performing the law within your life. Is this right? You want to know, is this right or this wrong? In the eyes of the Most High. He gave us laws, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. So we got to follow those laws to the best of our ability. Performing it, right? When you performing, you mean you acting it out. Look at Ecclesiasticus 6. Ecclesiasticus 6:1. Instead of a friend, become not an enemy. So you don't say instead of a friend, become not an enemy. For thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name. You're going to be talked about. That's why I say instead of a friend, become not an enemy. Don't become an enemy, people. For thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name. Your name going to be ill spoken of. Shame and reproach, disgrace. Even so shall a sinner that hath a double tongue. See, a sinner, meaning someone that transgressed the laws of the Most High, he have a double tongue, meaning he's wishy-washy. You know, it tells you about that in James, the 1st chapter. Go to James, the 1st chapter. James, the 1st chapter, talks about that double-tongued man. It's clear. It tells you, first of all, let's go here. Let's go to James 1:5. So if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Ask the Most High to give you wisdom. But let him ask in faith. You got to believe. Nothing wavering. Nothing wavering. You got to stay steadfast to what you ask in faith. You believe. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Meaning you don't believe. You ask it, but you really don't believe. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Most High. See, you ain't going to receive nothing of the mind. That's why it says of the Most High. That's why it says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. That's that double-tongued man. He's double-minded. He's unstable in all his ways. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in all and that he is exalted. You know, so that's why I went here to show you that this double tongue is double-minded. So don't think the Most High going to help you at all. You like a wave going this way, just going every way that you could think of. You over here, you over there. You know, get Colossians 2:8. Colossians 2:8. You don't know which way to go. Especially once you done prayed, you're supposed to be knowing that, hey, the Most High heard your prayer. Now you can look for the benefits of and the pleasure of him fulfilling what you have asked by Hashama Mashiach Yahushua. Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Mashiach. See? And that's what's happening. That's why I say you've been Edomanized. Your brain been polluted, because You have been spoiled through the philosophy and the vain deceit of worthless lies after the tradition of men, and not after the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. Else you be following what it is that you should be following, at least want to know what the Most High feel about this, how he feel about that, and not necessarily just about wherever it is you're at personally, but want to know what will please him, what's going to please the Most High. While Mashiach Yahushua. So going back to Ecclesiastes, the 6th chapter, verse 2. Extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart. So it says you ain't supposed to be lifting yourself up in your own mind, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull strained alone. See that, like that your soul won't be torn in pieces when you start exalting yourself. Most I say he'll take your soul and tear you to pieces like a bull, like you in the ring. You going in there with a bull by himself, and you the only thing in the ring with that bull, with no protection. That bull gonna tear you up. It says, "Thou shalt eat up the leaves, and lose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree. A wicked soul shall destroy him that hath it, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies. Sweet language will multiply friends." You know, sweet language will multiply friends. "And a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings." So it's tell you sweet language gonna multiply friends. You know, that's that love that you have for your people. But some people don't. If you don't have the love, then you're not gonna multiply friends. And our people know, just because they don't know the scriptures as we might know, they still have the zeal of the Most High, and they know, they could tell if you're sincere or not, or you just doing it for prestige, like it says. That's why he told you, he said, "Extol not thyself," verse 2, "in the counsel of thine own heart." You know, you thinking you up there, you all that. No, you ain't nothing as you ought to be. Most that calls filthy rags, man. He calls a minstrel cloth. All of us. Who can say it don't apply to them? It applies to all of us. Or it don't apply to me because you extolling yourself somewhere, right? You better come down to earth and realize you ain't nothing as you ought to be, man. Really, we're not. But you got men that are exalting themselves, man, they're going to be brought down low. Mashiach Yahushua said, "He that exalted himself shall be abased. He that humbled himself shall be exalted." It's about humility. You know, that's why I go over Ezra. And Ezra's, you know, he was humble. He was very humble. And the Most High accepted him. He put himself with the wicked. He didn't say he was better than everybody. How you better than everybody? You know, that's why the Most High say he hate a poor man that's prideful. You ain't got nothing, but yet still you think you all that. That's foolishness, man. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't have anything as the rich of this world. But yet still you exalting yourself because you memorize the Bible. Or you know a few scriptures the Most High have called you. But who could say that they guarantee that they chosen? Because they ain't lasted to the end. The end ain't here yet, right? You got to endure to the end. This is what it's saying, man. You got to be humble with a broken and contrite spirit before the Most High. Because people act like the Most High is not in it. Most High is everything. He's everywhere. He's watching everything. His eye is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. You know what I mean? So ain't what's hidden gonna be brought to the light. The things that's in the dark gonna be brought to the light. Everything that's covered up is gonna be revealed. You see what I'm saying? Most High already know. Look, get Wisdom of Solomon. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. No, go to Ecclesiasticus 17. And we're going to read verse 15. Ecclesiasticus 17 and 15. See, their ways are ever before him. It's on page 80. It says, their ways are ever before him and shall not be hid from his eyes. See? Verse 19. Therefore all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. See? His eyes are continually upon everything we're doing, man. Everything we're doing, the Most High sees. So, going back to Ecclesiastes, the 6th chapter, verse 5 says, sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. You know, knowing how to speak to people. Having a beautiful conversation, man. Knowing how to be in peace with many. Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000. I mean, you're supposed to be listening to everybody. Some people, they listen over here, listen over there. Y'all have all these many counselors. He said have one counselor of 1,000. Wow. You know, someone that you confide in. One counselor of 1,000. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. You get a friend, you say prove him first. Don't just say, okay, that's my friend, because you meet someone, you talk to him a few times. No, you got to be proven first. And be not hasty to credit him. Don't be hasty to give him credit. You know what I mean? Because you don't know him. You don't really know someone that you just meet. That's why I said don't be so in such a hurry to give them credit. You credit them. For some man is a friend for his own occasion. See, some people be your friend for his own occasion. They might want to be around you because you got things going on, or you don't know what the scheme that they might have in trying to be your friend is. You know what I mean? Some people are come around, they're a friend for their own occasion and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. See, whenever trouble comes, they out of there. Poof. You know what I mean? They just there for that one occasion or wherever they is, however long they've been with around you. But when trouble comes, poof, they gone. They ain't there no more. They ain't there to keep on rolling with you, to go through the trouble that you have. You know what I mean? They don't care. They don't show no sympathy. They don't have no remorse at all, because now you ain't up like you was up. And trouble comes, boom, they out of there. You know, it could be even on the street, man. We out there on the street, something happened, we got to stand strong. We got to stand strong. And there's a friend, verse 9, and there's a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. Yeah, there's a friend being turned to war with you and strife, going back and forth, arguing with you, will discover thy reproach, looking for something to disgrace you, looking for the evil or something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Something looking, trying to dig deep to try and so you could be disgrace you. And that's what it's all about, you know. Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. See? Some friends, they sit down to eat with you. They come over, you invite them to eat. They done kicked it with you. They done supped with you, maybe at the school. When the time of affliction, shoot, they gone. You know? They out of there. No sooner affliction comes, shoot, they gone. They ain't around. When you really need, them to be there for you, that's not a friend. That's why I say brothers say they brothers, but you ain't no brother if you ain't following what it says here as a friend. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're a brother, but you fall into the aspect of the second part of these scriptures, then you ain't really no brother. That's why I say you can't credit them. You got to be proven. Everybody got to be proven. I got to be proven like you got to be proven. Everybody got to be proven to be a friend. And you know that in time. You see what I'm saying? When certain things happen, just like even when you meet a woman, you ask her about, what about this situation? What do you think about this situation? Then you get a chance to hear how she think. You know what I mean? Well, you're looking at, okay, well, does she fall with the ones that she's your friend? Or is she someone that would fly the coop once trouble come or affliction? When you really need someone to be there, she going to be there or she not going to be there? You can already know just talking to her. This happened, right? You don't even have to involve yourself. This happened, wow, what do you think about this situation? You see what I'm saying? And you're talking to her about, or you're talking to your man about it, whatever. Either or, don't matter. You see? Therefore, you get a chance to know how they think. Let them reveal themselves to you. That's what this is all about. Getting the wisdom, proper application of knowledge to be able to know who you are dealing with. Because a lot of people don't know. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. Some people just roll with whoever and think that it's okay. It ain't okay. Let's look at let's continue. Verse 11. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself. When you up, you got money, you got prosperity, you seem like you got everything going on, he gonna be as you, right there with you. That's you, my boy. We tight, man. We all right. During the time of prosperity. In prosperity, he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. Yeah. You know, like he's just like you. And the people that's around you, he gonna act just like he's you yourself. You know what I mean? Like he's the man. Bold over your servants. Say, if thou be brought low, he will be against thee. But he was right there when you had it going on. But when you brought low, he'll be against you. And will hide himself from thy face. You won't see him. He done left from being around you. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee. And will hide himself from thy face. And he might be a snitch. If you brought low, he might end up telling on you. Or making up something on you while you bought low. People lie on people, man. People lie all the time. If you bought low, bring your low, shoot, he gonna hide from you. You don't see him no more. I'm out of here. There ain't no friend. There ain't no friend, man. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. He would have said, separate yourselves from your enemies and take heed to your friends, who you really look at as being a friend. That's why we have a guideline to go by in this truth. We have guidelines to go by. Look at Micah 7 and 5. Hold that. We're going to come back here in Ecclesiastes 6th chapter, but look at Micah 7 and 5. It says, trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. So he told us not to trust in a friend wholeheartedly. You're supposed to trust in the Most High. Micah 7 and 5. Put ye not confidence in a guide, somebody that's trying to lead you. If they're not leading you properly as in the laws of the Most High. It says, keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. I mean, you ain't supposed to be telling your woman everything. And she's supposed to look at the scripture and say, she don't want to know everything. I mean, you ain't supposed to be a yes man to your woman. That's what it said. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. So you're not supposed to be telling your woman everything. It says, for the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. See? A man's enemies are they of his own family. Because they're the closest to you. You know? You look at, man, why are we going through what we're going through? It's written. It's written. You just got to know what it is that's written and work around this. Because the solutions are here. You're hearing solutions. It's just a matter of you obtaining the Spirit to understand what the Most High has given us through His Word. Ecclesiasticus 6 and 13. Say, separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. It says, a faithful friend is a strong defense. You got a real strong friend and he's faithful. He's there with you. That's a strong defense because you're working together. And he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure, man. It says, well, you found a treasure. To have a faithful friend that really believe in you, that really, that you join in together, like we had went over how Jonathan and David, they loved the love as friendship surpassed the love of a man and a woman. And they wasn't going with each other or nothing like that, because that's against the laws of the Most High. So that's what I say, a faithful friend, verse 14, a faithful friend is a strong defense. And he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure. Nothing does countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend, man, his excellency is invaluable. You can't compare it. You can't compare it to anything, man. Friends with no ulterior motives. Friend willing to go all the way with you. Verse 15. Nothing does countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. See, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Most High shall find him. That's why we got to fear the Most High, so you're going to find a faithful friend. He ain't say friends. He said faithful friend. God, faithful friend, right. Y'all seeing this? Hope you are. Let you know it's not many that you might find in life. It says, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Most High shall find him. Whoso feareth the Most High shall direct his friendship aright. So you fear the Most High, you're going to direct your friendship in a right way. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. See? Because you'll be an example of righteousness in the eyes. So your neighbor going to learn how to be righteous also. Because of your example of being righteous in the eyes of the Most High. And not just looking at man, because Most High gave us rules and regulations, so we follow the rules and regulations, then we're righteous in his eyes. It says, my son, gather instruction from thy youth up. You got to gather instruction from your youth up of this Bible. So shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age, that old age. As you get older, you're going to maintain this wisdom that you learn from the instruction as a young man. It says, verse 19, come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. Because you're going to be applying the wisdom, proper application of knowledge of the Most High's word in your life, that you're going to see benefits, good fruits and not bad fruits. So is very unpleasant to the unlearned. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. See, when you roll it with this wisdom, it's unpleasant to the unlearned because they don't know. They've been programmed by the tradition of men. You know what I mean? The philosophies of men, the lies that men have taught, been brain polluted. So it's going to be wisdom going to be unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. You're not going to remain with the wisdom because they don't have the understanding. They're not going to remain with them. Look at Ecclesiasticus 7 and 12. Ecclesiasticus 7 and 12. It says, devise not a lie against thy brother, neither do the like to thy friend. See? So don't devise no lies against your brother or your friend. That's why when you go to Exodus, the law, Exodus the 20th chapter. And you'll see that's breaking the laws of the Most High. Exodus 20 and 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. That's the law. That's mean you ain't supposed to be lying against your neighbor. That's why when you look at it, what's being said here, it's just going back to the law. As I just read, you ain't supposed to be lying against your brothers. It says, Ecclesiastes 7 and 12, devise not a lie against thy brother, neither do the like to thy friend. You're supposed to devise no lie against your brother or your friend. Verse 16. Number not thyself among the multitude of sinners. See, we're supposed to be numbering ourselves amongst the multitude of sinners. But remember that wrath will not tarry long. That you know that wrath will come upon you. You're around sinners pretty soon. You're going to start doing the same things that they're doing. They're going to say, oh, it's all right. It's okay. Come on, follow me. Where you going? I'm going to hell. Don't you want to come with me? No, I do not want to come with you. You can go anywhere you want to, but don't take me with you. That's right. That's right. Look at verse 11. Ecclesiastes 7:11. It says, laugh no man to scorn in the bitterness of thy soul, but there is one which humbleth and exalteth. That's the Most High. So you're supposed to be laughing no man to scorn, in the bitterness of his soul. You make him bitter. You just making fun of him. But there is one that humbleth and exalteth. Remember that. That's the Most High. So let's look at Ecclesiasticus 9 and 10. Ecclesiasticus 9 and 10. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. So he said, don't forsake an old friend, because a new friend is not comparable to this old friend that you've had. A new friend is as new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. See? That new wine has got a ferment. But when it's old, then you're going to drink it with pleasure. That's why you have an old friend, remain friendly. Remain his friend. Some people are always looking for new friends, but the new friend is not like an old friend, because the old friend, y'all have been through a lot of times, you've been through a lot together. Just hopefully he'll come around to this truth, or someone in the truth. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity. See, a friend cannot be known in prosperity. When you have a lot of money, Are you rolling? Got a lot of cash? A friend cannot be known then. And an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Your enemy ain't going to be hidden when you're going through changes. You're having trouble. They're going to pop all out the woodwork. Because a lot of people waiting on you to fall or fail. They look forward to it. Because they're the enemy. And they're not following what the Most High said we're supposed to be following. They look for you to fail. Longing for you to fail. So I say a friend cannot be known in prosperity. And an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. It says, in the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. So when they see you coming up, they see something that's benefiting you, your enemy's going to be grieved. That's why you look at, well, why are they not coming around? Because they're your enemy. When they see you coming up, I remember when I was doing cable runs and for my TV show, and I got a pretty a decent car, you know, from an older car, and shoot, man, you would expect, we being in the truth, that you would be excited seeing that I got from a bucket to a nice car, but it was like looking down, like kind of like really not glad that I had received a benefit in the work that I was doing to continue to do the work. You know what I mean? I seen that. I was like, wow, you ain't really rolling right. How you rolling right? I would be glad to see you come up, knowing where you have, came from to now you done came up somewhat. You know what I mean? Everybody should be glad for each other, but not envious or feeling bad about somebody that's, you look at the condition they was in, now they got better. Be happy for our people. If you're going to be Mashiachim, now if you were the world, you have the tradition of men, that's where the men is. Like they pride, like why you got a problem when you got your thing going on? I got what I got going on, you got what you got going on. When you come up, I should be happy. Seeing that you've been going through changes, you know what I mean? Knowing what you're going through, you know what I mean? Now all of a sudden you get a nice car and you got to work on your motor, you working on your transmission, you working on the body, you working on all these different things that you got to just try and make it. And then next thing you know, you get a new car. I'm going to be envious of you. And then I know what I have. That's not a friend, man. That's not what the Most High said. He's calling to the kingdom. You ain't going to the kingdom like that with that type of attitude. You don't love your neighbor. Say love that neighbor as yourself. So that's the way you're supposed to be treated. You know what I mean? How you feel about yourself, how you supposed to treat someone else. If you feel good about yourself, you're supposed to feel good about your brothers. Point blank. It's crazy. Verse 9 again, in the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. But in his adversity, even a friend will depart. That's cold. When you haven't going through a lot of changes, you're going to have a problem, say even an enemy will depart from you. And that's what we're looking at here, man. It says, never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So you ain't supposed to be trusting your enemies. Like iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. I take a long time for iron to rust. So that's why you got to be watching. So therefore you see, okay, well, he's shady. And more as you see that iron rust, that's how that wickedness is going to come about. Pretty soon you're going to see that he's wicked. You see what I'm saying? He's not a righteous person. And will end up doing something against you. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, could see right through him. And thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. That's right. You're going to see that he's still wicked. That rust has not been wiped away. It says, set him not by thee. Don't let him be by you. Lest when he have overthrown thee, you let him by you. You let your enemies by you. So I said, never trust an enemy. You let them by you. They're going to try and take your place. He stand up in thy place. Unless you know, how many brothers let brothers come around, next thing you know, they with their woman. He done took your place, even in your house. You see what I'm saying? Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, to be pricked therewith. It's going to start hurting you. Look at Ecclesiastes 14. Ecclesiastes 14 and 13. It says, do good unto thy friend before thou die. It says, do good to your friend before you die. And according to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give to him. So, just let us know that this is love. This is charity. So do good to your friend while you're alive. Because you can't do nothing once you die. It said, according to your ability, stretch out thine hand and give to him. It says, defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. You know, you have good days, appreciate it. That's why, you know, you got to thank the Most High for every day. Because it could be a day that he pull your spirit and you're dead. So every day is very special. Every day is special. And this day, the Sabbath day, is very, very important to the Most High. It's his day. Look at Ecclesiastes 14 and 2. It says, blessed is he whose conscience has not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope in the Most High. A lot of times, man, your own mind, you can condemn yourself by your own mind, the way you think. You know. A lot of people, they woe is me people. You know what I mean? Woe is me people. So I say, blessed is he whose conscience has not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope in the Most High, his faith in the Most High. Look at Ecclesiastes 30. Hold that. Ecclesiastes 30 and 21. Ecclesiastes 30 and 21. And 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, meaning thinking a whole lot of negative, you know, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. So don't afflict yourself in your own mind, thinking of this, thinking of that, thinking of this, thinking of that, condemning yourself. Say verse 22. The gladness of the heart, which is the mind, is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So you want joy, man. And if you do have a woman, hopefully she fit into this category when it says the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Hopefully you have a woman that fits into this category. And Ecclesiastes, hold that, get Ecclesiastes 26 and 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoices her husband. See? It says, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. The joyfulness, listen, of Ecclesiastes 26 and 2. A virtuous woman rejoices her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. Going back to Ecclesiastes 30 and 22. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So if you have a virtuous woman, she's going to rejoice her man. She's not going to make him be sad and sorrowful. But she's going to find ways to rejoice her husband. That's a virtuous woman. It says, and you have to look into being joyful yourself. Let the joy of a Mashiach Yahushua be fulfilled in you. So your days can be prolonged. Because sadness and feeling all sorrowful is going to shorten your days. Worrying cancels out faith. Worrying cancels out faith, your belief in the Most High. Verse 23, love thine own soul. Ecclesiasticus 30 and 23. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee. See? Telling us to remove sorrow far from you. For sorrow have killed many. Here it is. Woe is me, people. Sorrow have killed many, and there is no profit therein. Ain't no profit in this. Sorrow has killed many, and there's no profit in being sorrowful all the time, you know? Regardless, most I said, hey, look, you got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. He tell us we got to pray for each other, but he tell us in Ecclesiastes 2 and 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You got to have patience when you change to a lower state. Get Romans 14 and 22. Romans 14 and 22. So you gotta have a mind to be able to know how to operate in the spirit of the Most High. The power that's in the spirit of the Most High, I might say. Look, it says, Romans 14 and 22. Hast thou faith? Have it to thyself before the Most High. Happy is he that condemneth not himself in that thing which he alloweth. See? You allowing certain things to happen while these things are happening. And he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So if you don't believe, then why are you eating this up? Because if it's not of faith, you don't believe it, then you're going to start to sin. Because you're not going to believe in the word of the Most High. And what we doing here? I mean, we eating. We eating this. This is food, spiritual food.